Good day. I'm Paula Filart, and I'm here to talk to you about Creative Commons and sharing in the digital age. As we know, the web is full of accessible content on almost anything, but with the ease of just copying, using, or downloading everything off the internet, we run the risk of violating the creator's rights. We must remember that not everything on the web is free for our use. I'll start off discussing with a little bit about copyright. Copyright is the protection accorded to original, artistic, and literary works and are protected from the moment of their creation. Even YouTube videos, pictures posted on Facebook, poems published on blogs, these are all protected by copyright. What is important to remember is that consent is always required to print, publish, perform, film, or record literary, artistic, or musical material subject to copyright protection. As a general rule, we should assume that all works on the internet is protected by copyright and covered under its conventional copyright terms, or what we call the all rights reserved regime. However, entering into contracts to get consent to use, say, a photo uploaded on the internet might be costly and time-consuming. This is where Creative Commons comes in. Creative Commons is a licensing regime to share creative works by offering several copyright licenses to the public free of charge. It is based on the principle of copyright, and it gives the creator the means to share their work to the public with the conditions of their choice, or what we call the some rights reserved regime. It promotes the creative reuse of intellectual and artistic works and doing away with the individual negotiations between the licensor and the licensee. Now, here are some of the platforms which host works protected by the Creative Commons licenses, or what we call CC licenses. We have Flickr, a photo sharing platform for photographers and photography enthusiasts, YouTube and Vimeo, a video sharing platform, Bandcamp and Jamendo, music licensing platforms, and all of these other platforms. Now, how do you know if a work is covered under a Creative Commons license? If you see any of these symbols, then you'll know that they are licensed under the Creative Commons regime and that the creator has granted you some rights to his work, subject, of course, to certain restrictions. So let's discuss these licenses further. Perhaps you've clicked on a picture on Wikipedia. If you notice, you'll see these combinations of letters below the picture. For example, this picture has a CC BY 2.0 license. This is a Creative Commons license. Another example is this picture on Flickr. Instead of the combination of letters, you see these combination of symbols. This work is also licensed under the Creative Commons regime. The first license we'll discuss is the Attribution license, usually represented by the letters BY or this symbol. This license allows you to copy, distribute, display, perform the work, make derivative works, and remixes based on the original work, but you must give the licensor the credits in the manner specified by the license. For example, if you see a picture on Flickr with the attribution symbol and you want to use it for your research paper, the symbol means that the owner has legally allowed you to use the picture without asking for his permission. The only restriction is that you give the creator proper attribution. So how do we attribute? First, you name the author or the creator and, where applicable, provide a link to his profile. Second, provide the title of the work if there is any, and the link to where the original work is hosted. Third, put in the CC license type and a link to the license. The second license we'll talk about is the Share Alike license, represented by the letters SA or this symbol. This allows anyone to copy, distribute, perform, and modify as long as any of the modified work is distributed on the same terms or on terms not more restrictive than the original work. For example, if you take a video from YouTube with an SA license and you want to include it in your own video, which you will upload on the internet, your new video must carry the same terms and conditions as the video that you used. The third license is the non-commercial license, represented by the letters NC or this symbol. This allows anyone to copy, display, distribute, perform, and modify the work for any purpose other than commercial. Say you saw a nice picture online and you want to print them on mugs to give as Christmas gifts. If it has an NC license, then you can do that. However, once you sell those mugs for a profit, then that is violating the CC license of the creator of the picture. The last is the no derivatives license, represented by the letters ND or this symbol. This allows you to copy, distribute, display, or perform original copies of the licensed content. However, no modification, remixes, or other forms of derivatives is allowed without the creator's consent. So, if you take a picture online with an ND license and you want to use that picture in your blog, you cannot modify or edit the picture as you please. You must use that picture as is. Now, there is a special license. We call it the CC0 license, where there are no restrictions imposed and it waives as many rights as possible. It is a way to release material to the world and into the public domain. Now, here are the most common combinations of the licenses used. Among these, the BY license and the BYSA license gives the most freedom to the user. The BYSA license is akin to the copyleft free and open source software licenses. So, a work derived from an original work with a BYSA license must allow commercial use as well. The BYND license allows redistribution, commercial or non-commercial, as long as the work is passed unchanged and in whole, duly crediting the creator thereof. The BYNC license lets you remix, modify, or build upon the work. However, the original or derivative work must not likewise be distributed commercially. Now, these last two licenses are the most restrictive licenses. The BYNC SA license lets you remix, modify, and build upon the original work, but you cannot distribute the work or the derivative you create in a commercial manner. In addition, the redistribution must be under identical terms as the original work used. The BYNC ND license only allows you to download the original work and share it with others as long as you credit the original work. You cannot change it in any way or use it commercially. Now, to summarize everything, we must remember, as a general rule, always assume that everything you find in the web is subject to copyright and that all rights are reserved by the creator. Creative Commons lets you license your work under the terms that you want, allowing the public to use your work subject to some rights that you've reserved. So remember, check the works you find online for the appropriate rights granted by the creator, if any, or if CC licenses are granted, to avoid infringing the owner's copyright. Thank you for listening.